Our Computex 2024 coverage is made possible by Asus, G-Skill, Fantex, Team Group, Lian Li, ASRock, Corsair, XPG, Thermaltake, Clev, Montech, and Seasonic. What's going on, guys? I'm Stuart from GGF, and it is the last day of Computex 2024, and we are at the Trix booth. I believe that's right. I was saying Tri-X or Trix, but no, it is Trix, and this company is brand new. They haven't been around for very long, and you probably noticed what they've been known for recently in the last month is that panoramic all-in-one cooler that has that wraparound LCD screen. So we'll be taking a look at that, and they have some really impressive cases, which we will check out as well. You've probably seen these all-in-one coolers. These are the Panorama, and apparently these were the first L-shaped ones with the LCD. These have gone viral in the last, I think it was about a month before Computex. These dropped. I don't know if they dropped on purpose or they were leaked, but as you can see, this is like nothing we have seen around before. You've probably seen other companies do this now, but these guys were the fastest. And as you can see, this just looks absolutely brilliant, and the resolution on these is super high res. But one thing I want to get out of the way first, it looks like that looks like Valorant on this one, and on this one it looks like it's got a basketball game. I spoke to the guys, and you actually can't run them as a secondary screen, or not yet. So you can't throw YouTube onto them, you can't throw like a capture card or drag a window to view something else. So these two ones are playing pre-recorded footage that has been selected in the software. So you can choose like videos, GIFs, and then they've got their other built-in themes and so on. But more on these units themselves, they come in a heap of models. I won't list them all. They come in 360, 240, they come in black and white, they come with RGB, they come with non-RGB, and they come in high performance fan models. The pump is the Acertech Gen 8, so that's good. Moving on to their software, I had a quick play. I tried to record some on the screen. I wish I could record the software directly. I was recording directly onto the screen, so there might be a bit of glare. I think it's done really well. They've got themes. You can customize it by uploading your own themes. You can play around with them, and there's a heap of settings you can do to add things like system stats, performance, temperatures, all of that. And I like it how it's not just when you have the system stats, it's just like a static background with like dials and that. It looks really clean where you have an image on the back, and then it's overlaid with things like the weather or temperatures of your system, GPU temps, things like that. It makes it look really futuristic and modern. Now, another neat feature, you can see that this is just one curved screen. In the software, you can split it to two. So in the software, that gives you two separate ones, so you can set up the I would say this is the side view, and then this will be the front view when it's installed in your case. You can put different things on each one, so it additionally it makes it like two multi-purpose screens. But these are early models. I guess they can only improve from here in the terms of software, but from what I saw so far, the software has been done really well. Moving on to some fans, I do like my non-RGB products, and these are non-RGB fans. Now, they do have a heap in their series. These are the Rota, I think it's Rota ROTA Pro. They have the non-Pro, but these are the highest performing ones. That's because these use the LCP material technology in the fans. That's why the fan blades are gray. All the manufacturers have the same issue with this material. It's that gray sort of marble effect material, but you do get the high performance out of the blade. That's because over time, the material doesn't warp, it doesn't shrink, it doesn't expand. So over time, you can get that fine gap for better performing, and then in say a few years' time, that material won't change shape, and then you won't have any rubbing or anything like that on the fan blades. But yeah, they come in the black and the white. For the specs, I'll put them in the description, things like the airflow, static pressure, and then the noise levels as well. But I think the 120s perform really good. I think they're nearly up to 4 millimeters for the static pressure, which is good in a fan like this. This is something different than what we're normally used to. This is the Otavia, I think you pronounce it. I'm just going to cover not so much on the chassis itself, but more on this implementation on the front. It looks like some weave, I don't know, like a grandma sort of tapestry, but they've kind of modernized it a bit. We got a few over here. We got like an army color. Now, obviously these aren't going to be for fan filtration, because I can see this just goes straight through like that. It just gives it a different design element than what we're normally used to. And then this one over here looks like something from like a bicycle strap. So I just want to know your thoughts on this. Do you think they should come up with some different designs, different colors, maybe not so far out with this? It looks like a shoelace kind of design, but yeah, just want to know your thoughts on this area at the front. We all know I like my LCD panels when it comes to incorporating them into PC builds, but this is taking it to the next level. This is a high resolution I think this is probably like a 16-inch, and it goes over the whole side panel. Now, this isn't a mod or anything. This is actually the case. Now, originally I thought this was the specs card as I was walking past, but this is actually the model of the case. I think it's SPES, S-P-E-S, and that's what this is being called. Now, this is a very early engineering prototype. I can't even open it, so we can't see inside. So it is a small form factor. It's around 20 liters in volume, and they did say it will be going down a bit smaller when they do finalize. And as you can see over this one, this is the same one, it's just been rotated, and the feet on this one now become, I don't know, handles or just an aesthetic piece on the back. Now, you might be wondering, well, what's this bit here? This is so you can expand the case. So basically what you do, it'd be good if I can actually demo this, but they can't do anything like that. It's like a sandwich that you can split apart, so you can slide one bit up, one bit down, and then you add a fill piece at the bottom, you add a fill piece at the back, and that's how you get the extra height. Some other specs on this one, I can see this panel here is one of those transparent ones, so you can see your hardware inside. So if you don't run anything over the screen, you can see inside it, whereas this one is just a solid one. I actually think I like the solid one because it makes it a little bit more multi-purpose. You could actually use this for something within Windows, whereas this one, it's kind of hard to see. It's not very high resolution. It's more, to me, just a little gimmick to see inside, but I would like to see this one being used more than just running some abstract over it, maybe something like temperatures, some system info, and so on. This case here really caught my eye. This is called the Luca. Now, first off, what are your thoughts on that name? Personally, I don't really like it. Luca comes off as, I don't know, it doesn't really come off as a PC case type of name to me. Now, other areas I do want to cover are more of the specs and things you can do. Let me take this side panel off so we don't get any glare. Now, as you can see, that just came off straight away like that. Very easy. You grab it at the top and it just flips down. So what they are going with this design, it's a panoramic design with the main side panel and the front. These are on hinges, which opens up like this. Now, there is an airflow version and a tempered glass version. It's not going to be both. The guy says they will be two separate models. So obviously this is the tempered glass version, and I don't think I've seen a case with this design have the hinges on the front, and I think that's just something different, and it's neat. This is the airflow option. Well, this is actually very heavy. These are dual 200mm fans. They are 38mm thick, and they are RGB as well. I don't think these ones are RGB, but the white one behind me, they are RGB fans as well. Now, some other features on this case, there are a lot to cover, but I probably can't get them all done here. I'd love to get one to review, and then I can go over all of those. As you can see here, the motherboard tray is removable. We all like those to install your hardware on it. You can even use them as a little test bench, get everything going, get everything working, and then you can just drop it back into place. But the reason why they've made this removable is the PSU shroud can go at the top, or the PSU shroud can go at the bottom. To make the PSU shroud go in the bottom from the top, you need to remove the motherboard tray, take the PSU shroud out, move the motherboard tray up a little bit because it's not going to fit down here for the PSU. Then you can put the PSU in the bottom, and then you can put the motherboard tray back in, and you are good to go. Another feature over here is a cover for the PCI slots. Just open that up, and then that just covers all the screws. I'm not sure if that actually locks it in, because I can still see screws in there. It just looks like it's a cover to hold that in. For radiator support, they said there's 420 top, bottom, and side. Obviously, you're not going to be able to do 420 with the PSU there, so you can't do three 420s. It's either going to be a 420 like in this configuration and a 420 there, and up here will just be like a single fan because of the PSU shroud. Some other areas we'll walk down to. Actually, one more thing I do want to cover here. I want to know your take on these cable grommets. To me, they're looking a little bit bluish. I think that they can make them more grey or jet black, but to me they just stand out way too much, being that I'd almost say they're like a dark purpley greyish blue colour. I think they should make them more either jet black or a darker grey. I/O is pretty standard. It's got an audio combo port, USB-C, and then 3 Type A. Moving on to a white version, which you can probably see inside a little bit easier. I'll take this side panel off. So now with the side panel off, we can get a better view inside this white model. Now these grommets are more of the grey. I think even if they use these grey grommets in that one, it would look better than what was already in there. So basically this one has the PSU shroud down the bottom, and I do like how there is a cutout. So PSUs like your ROG Thors with the cutout on the screen, you can see that, and we all know they did launch their Thor 3, so you'll be able to see the wattage readout on those, so it's nice to see it's not just a solid cover. And I do also like that it's not a PSU cover that goes all the way along, it's just enough for your PSU, and that is it. And this is the version with the airflow front, and you can see those whopping fans. I'm not sure if these fans are final. They're kind of a translucent frame design, and it is a little bit different. Now, some other areas I want to talk about around the back. Before I take this side panel off, we can just see this gorgeous full aluminum side panel. Now, the whole case isn't aluminum. It's got a bit here and there. A lot of it is mainly steel for the frame, and we have a bit of plastic at the top. But in terms of price for this case, I think they said it's going to be around the $200 mark, which I think is pretty good, especially for the amount of aluminum you are getting. And there's a bit of a design element there. And when we take this off, I'll just hand this over, we can see inside. Now, this hard drive tray is quite interesting. I don't really know how this is going to work. I've only spent about 5 minutes on this case. As I can see, there is a screw here, and this would just swing out like so. So I have plenty of room there. I can see all these cable ties for your cables. And one thing I didn't mention before, we have full back connector support. So like your ROG, BTF, you got there, everything you need to go to get those boards going. And then there's plenty of room to run your cables behind. And it looks like this can just take a heap of SSDs. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4 2.5 inch, and it's probably 2 3.5 inch hard drives. Now, another interesting feature around here is you might be thinking, well, this is a 420 up to a 420 radiator spot, but it is absolutely blocked. Now you might be wondering, do you have to take this out? Well, what you can do is if you're not running any fans on the side, you want optimal airflow. You want airflow to go in the front. If you go the airflow version, straight in, straight up the top, you can seal this off for better airflow. But then if you want to put fans, you can just spin this around and then away it goes. You don't have to take it out or anything, but the good thing is you can still put drives on the back of this, whether it's in this config or if it's in this config here. So that's just something a little bit different this case can do. Now, last thing I do want to cover is around the top. I'm gonna have to throw B-roll on all of this because you're not gonna see anything at all. There is a handle up here. Yes, this is a handle. And what you do, you don't just grab it in the one spot because it's going to be very awkward to carry. There is another lifting handle on the back. Now, you're not actually lifting the plastic. It's actually a reinforced a bit of a steel grip for you to grab. So you grab two hands and you can lift it up. Just something a little bit different than what other case brands are doing. So that's pretty much it covering the Luca. I couldn't go over all. I just want to know your thoughts on this design. Do you think this aesthetic has been used too much with the glass at the front? I do think what they've done is a little bit different. Like we can see this interesting area here. It just goes in and then out, all these angles, and this gives you a bit of a raised format for airflow at the bottom. Now that is it at the Triaxis booth. We covered those few cases, the fans and the all-in-one coolers, but that is it for our Computex 2024 coverage. I want to thank you guys for watching. It's been really great here checking out all this hardware. I want to thank these guys for letting us go over their gear, and we'll see you next time.